Hey everybody, my name is Willie Lawson of Fightback Media, fightbackmedia.com, and the Morning Report. I was having a conversation offline with my friend Jeff Dow. Jeff Dow is the CEO, chief bottle washer, and lead thought leader for the Digital Soldier Network. If you want to check that out, both on YouTube and on Twitter and on Instagram and on TikTok and on Rumble, and I'm guessing Parlor, where you find podcasts and where you find everything. So that's the Digital Soldier Network. Just go into Google or DuckDuckGo and Digital Soldier Network and find my friend Jeff Dow. Now, Jeff brought up a question to me again off air, and he was talking about people running for offices. He's planning on, I think he's planning on running for office. So he asked me what I thought, having been a candidate before. And sometimes, frankly, you have to do it wrong to figure out how to do it right, because frankly, you don't know what you don't know. So I wanted to do this series of videos on things to think about if you're running for office. On this particular video, I'm going to cover three things. You can write these down. The first is learn all you can about the position you're running for. So if you're running for school board, if you're running for county commission, if you're running for city council, if you're running for state house or state senate, or governor or a U.S. rep or a U.S. senate, would learn everything you can about the position you're running for. Learn about if you're running for, say, school board, who's already on the school board, exactly what is in the purveyance of the school board based on their charter, based on their history, based on court rulings. Learn everything you can. Learn who is currently on the school board, when their term is up, and if you can find out their voting records, whether they're on the school board, county commission, city council. Of course, it's easier when you get to state senate, state rep. Find out what their voting, what everybody's voting record is. You want to find out the lay of the land. You really don't want to go into any of that stuff blind. You want to find out the history of what your district you're running for, or do you want to run is it single member districts, or do you want to run district wide? Like here in Tampa, there are single member districts for city council, and then there are citywide districts. 1, 2, 3 are citywide seats. 4, 5, 6, and 7, I believe, are 7 are specific single member districts, and it's the opposite in county commission here where I live. 1, 2, 3, 4 are single member districts, and 5, 6, and 7 are countywide districts. So you want to know what you're running for. You want to know everything about the position you're running for. It's like when you're applying for a job. A lot of times we just apply for a job because we need a job. What we don't do, unfortunately, what we don't do is learn about what that job is. What do they do? What does it entail? What's the time commitment? If you happen to be lucky enough to win, what's the time commitment? Is it a full-time job? School boards often aren't full-time jobs. Will you have time to do your regular job? While campaigning, will you have time to do your regular job? Can you afford? Now I'm getting into future videos here, but it's important. Can you afford to campaign? Can you afford the time? Can you get the time off work? Will you need the time off work? How's your family gonna deal with your campaign? I mean, all these things you have to know before, and this is before you tell anybody. This is before you declare. This is before you go down and file. This is before you tell a single soul what you're planning to do, what you'd like to do. Before you tell a single soul, you need to have all this stuff solid in your brain. The second thing, do you have the prerequisite skills for that position? Because now you know what that position entails. Do you have the skills? Do you have the educational background? Are you a person who is okay in front of a camera? Are you okay speaking in crowds? Are you okay? All the things it takes. Do you have the management skills for running a small office? Because these folks, maybe not school board, but county commission and city council, will have a person working with them or for them, a receptionist, a secretary, some sort of assistant. Are you good with running an office? Are you afraid to talk to the press? Are you afraid to present? I mean, all sorts of these things are real, and not everybody's good at everything. Y'all all can't be me. Yeah, I'm joking. I'm joking. But you know what I'm saying? Do you have the prerequisite skills for the job now that you've learned what they do? Make sure you do. And again, all of this, you have to know these two things before you tell anybody. That's all. This is all got to be in your head and in your heart before it comes out of your face. Now, as you seep out trying to find out something, the third thing I want to talk about in this short video, and this is a short video, is there potential support for you to win that seat? So often, and I was guilty of this not once but twice, I thought in my head that people were clamoring for somebody new, somebody different. I had convinced myself that people were clamoring for somebody, anybody, and I was the anybody. I was not the anybody. I am in a 70-30 district to the opposite of my party, and nobody was clamoring for anybody in my party, who was associated to my party for the seat that I was running for. No one was even clamoring for a change from the person that was already in the seat. There was no clamoring. So frankly, there wasn't any support. There wasn't even any support from my party, as people didn't believe that that seat could be won by somebody in my party. So there was absolutely, and I'm being, and if I had to be honest, there was absolutely going to be no support for my campaign. None, zero. Now I would always have the few people who would go, high five, you're doing a hard thing, not ever really expecting that I would win or even qualify, because neither time that I even qualified. But seek that out. Ask the questions. Are people clamoring for something for something different? Are they angry enough or frustrated enough, not about things in general, but that seat in particular? But you will have learned that if you do number one and number two, right? Especially number one. If you learn all you can about the position you're running for, you will know the condition of the person who's the incumbent, or you'll know if that seat is an open seat. And that makes a difference. Running against incumbents is tough, even if they're not popular incumbents. It is a lot tougher. Is there potential support for you? And frankly, until you find out these two things, don't tell a lot of people about your campaign or your thought of running for that office. You'll be like the spruce goose. You may make a lot of noise and you'll rumble for a while, but you won't get off the ground. You won't have a campaign. You won't. So if you don't have a campaign, you won't be able to win an office. You won't be able to affect change. Do these three things. Again, one more time, in order. Learn all you can about the position you're running for first. Second, do you have the prerequisite skills for that position? And only you know that. Number three, is there potential support for you to win that seat? Will you get people to volunteer? Will you get people to write checks? Because you need both. To win the seat that you want. My name is Willie Lawson. I am the CEO, COO, COFO, CJO, Chief Janitorial Officer of the of Fight Back Media. Me and my friend Paul Swanson run this thing. You can reach Paul Swanson at the swansonreport.locals.net and no, the swansonreport.locals.com. There you go. And you can reach us at fightbackmedia.com, fightbackmedia.com, fightbackmedia.com. So until we see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sakes, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart, take care of yourself. We will see you when we see you. Bye bye now.